Okay, so today we're going to do, create, I should say, a Zentangle letter, which you're going to have either your first letter of your name, your last initial, maybe it's just a letter starting of your favorite music group or team, it doesn't really matter. And the letter's going to be nice and block, it could be bubble, that's fine too, but the letter is going to be eventually left white. And then on the background is where you're going to have the different Zentangle patterns. And I'll attach a bunch of ideas, but you can also look online. They have hundreds and thousands, actually, of Zentangle patterns you can get ideas from, okay? And we'll be working on this also next week, because this does take a long time to work on, okay? So I'm going to show you how we're going to start. You're going to need a pencil and eraser, most importantly. And then you may need a Sharpie or a Sharpie pen or a black pen or marker, whatever you have at home. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a letter. And my letter is going to take up most of the paper. Okay, so I have my letter. And I like to outline my letter next. So I'm going to just take my Sharpie. You can use whatever you have at home. I'm a little off my lines. I am not worried. Okay. Then in the background, I'm going to draw some lines, just dividing up the sections, I should say. So that you can do different Zentangle patterns in each one of those areas. Then you can look at the sheet, and I'm fine if you want to modify these or make up your own. But let's say I'm going to work on this little one right here. Let's see, I'll do it in this section here. So it's kind of like fish scales. So you would draw those fish scales in your section. And once you're finished with the section, you want to stop at that line or curvy line, whatever you did. I'm actually going to make this a little bit lower. Okay, so I have the main curved lines, and then on this one, there's an additional line or curve in each section. I'm just going to show you a couple rows to give you an idea so I don't take up too much of your time. Then they also have a third little like almost circle inside. Then I like to get my Sharpie pen. You can use a regular pen or a colored pencil is fine too, whatever you have. And I'm going to trace over all my lines. And you can see why this is going to be a 2-week project, because this takes a significant amount of time to trace over everything. And I'm just using a size like the size of a copy paper. You can use something smaller if you want. Whatever you have handy at home is fine. Okay, so I've got these all traced. I would pretend like I'm doing all of them. Then you'll see there's an area colored in. So I could color it in with my little marker here, my Sharpie pen, a marker. And I'm just taking my time. Now, don't rush this, because a true Zentangle, you have nice clean edges and lines. So it's not about, finishing quickly. Okay. So it just takes time, and hopefully it's relaxing. I find Zentangle very peaceful and relaxing. And it's nice to do after you've had a week of testing, which I know you've been worried about. So this is kind of a peaceful project that you can work on. Hopefully you find it peaceful, I should say, as I do. And some of these Zentangle patterns are obviously more complicated. So you can kind of choose a pattern that you find works for you. Push yourself a little bit. It's always good to push yourself in art and everything else. You don't want to stress out, but a little challenge is always a good thing. Okay, and you get the idea, and I would do that on all of it. Then I can go to another section. Maybe I'm gonna do this one that's like kind of like a bullseye. I start off with a circle in the middle, and then I'm gonna have another circle, another circle, another circle. I'm gonna stop at that line, circle. And on that one, it has lines kind of radiating from that center point. And then once again, you can use a Sharpie pen or Sharpie, whatever you have handy. Tracing over everything. I'm just gonna do a few sections. I have had some students in the past that they prefer to draw everything first with pencil and then go into the marker, and that's fine, whatever you prefer. I like to do a little section at a time personally, but just so I have like that gratification of having an area finished. And you'll find that some of these are more obviously complicated than others, so you may decide to keep some of them a little more simplified. So look at this. If I were to color that one, I'm going to have two next to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'll do one right here. I'm adding a little line there because I wasn't paying attention to that, but it still works. Then it's like a checkerboard. Then you'll color in the next one. Okay, so I hope you have a good time with this. I'll talk to you next week about some other little additions you can add to your Zentangles and give you some more ideas as well.